Ici c'est Paris!
Welcome to Paris. Whether it's your first time visiting or you've been here before, we've got 16 do's and don'ts that will help you navigate the city like a local. We know how overwhelming it can be with all the online tips available out there, but don't worry, we've got your back. From greeting the local way to avoiding common tourist traps, we've got plenty to share. After all, you don't need to act like some mythical real Parisian. Paris is for everyone, and there's no one right way to enjoy it. Ready? Let's dive in. Of course, greet people with a smile. One of the simplest but most important things you can do in Paris is greet people properly. With a quick bonjour during the day or bonsoir at night, it's a must when you're entering a shop or restaurant or even passing by someone in your building. It's a small gesture, but it makes a huge difference in how locals will interact with you. You'll notice people responding a lot more warmly. And trust us, Parisians really appreciate the effort, even if your French isn't perfect. Now, speaking of French, it doesn't take much to learn a few key phrases before your trip. Sure, many people speak English, but starting a conversation in French shows respect for their language. Here are a few phrases that will definitely come in handy. Bonjour. Merci. Excuse-moi. S'il vous plaît. Je suis perdu.
It might come off as standoffish, especially the service people, very direct. So when you're ordering, learn a few words in French, know what you want, be very direct. Okay? That will take you a long way.
Even if your accent isn't perfect, they'll appreciate the effort, of course. The next step is obviously to figure out how to zip around the city and enjoy its beauty. Thankfully, Paris has a transportation system that makes getting around very easy. When it comes to navigating in Paris, the metro is really your friend. It's way faster than taxi or Uber. It'll get you wherever you need to go fast without breaking the bank. And check out our video on Paris public transportation. We've got even more tips in that video for you to check out, so don't miss it. Now, this might surprise you, but Parisians tend to keep things much more quiet than you would expect, even in public. Whether you're on the metro or in a cafe or strolling through the park, people usually keep their voices low, a way of showing respect for others' spaces. Once you adjust, you'll find the atmospheres peaceful and relaxing. And speaking of relaxing, there's nothing more Parisian than having a picnic in the park. You should definitely head over to a grocery store or an outdoor market, grab some cheese, a baguette, or maybe even a bottle of wine, and settle somewhere scenic, whether it's by the Eiffel Tower or in the hills of Montmartre or at the Jardin de Luxembourg. A picnic is a perfect way to soak in the beauty of the city. And with all this getting around, of course, we need to be staying hydrated. It's obviously very important. And thankfully, Paris has free public water fountains all over the city. You can refill your water bottles and continue exploring without having to constantly buy bottles of water, especially if you're exploring for hours. The water is safe, clean, and it's the same high quality water that the locals drink every day. Then, of course, don't miss the chance to hit the local markets. If you're looking for unique souvenirs, Paris has some of the most incredible local markets where you can find one-of-a-kind items. It's way more fun than grabbing the typical Eiffel Tower keychains, Eiffel Tower tote bag, or something like that. Grabbing something from the local markets will definitely make a much more special memory of the city. Okay, here's our last to-do. It's not necessarily fully a thing to do, but more of a thing to accept. We don't want to burst your bubble, but here's the truth. Paris is massive, and you won't be able to do all the things you want to do in one visit. And that's perfectly fine. So you need to come to the realization that there's always a next time. Paris will always be here, waiting for you for your next adventure. Now that you've got the essentials down, let's talk about a few things you'll want to avoid or not do. First of all, if you're from anywhere outside of Europe, you'll need a two-pronged adapter for French outlets. Trust me, you don't want to get stuck without a way of charging your phone or your camera or your laptop. You don't want to get stuck with them dead and have the inability to charge them. So make sure you bring your adapter with you. This next point, to me, is very important and absolutely necessary if you want to avoid stress. Just honestly stay light. What I mean by that is leave your passport and credit cards in your hotel or Airbnb. It'll give you a peace of mind knowing that your important documents are safe back home, your new home for whatever time being, and not stolen on you as you are thinking everything is okay and it is swiped off you very swiftly. You don't want that to happen. So stay light. Next, you absolutely do not want to rely on the cabs. Paris is a very walkable city. Sure, you could grab a cab, but walking lets you really immerse yourself in the atmosphere. Plus, taxis can really get expensive and you can get stuck in traffic all over the city, especially during rush hours. So if you really need to travel long distances and you don't want to walk, then of course, use the metro. It's definitely the way to go. Now, you know those love locks you've heard of being placed in the name of love on Paris bridges? You might have heard us speak about it in the last video about Montmartre. As we said before, it is illegal, and that is due to the damage that it causes the bridge. It weighs it down. Instead, take a picture or a nice video, creating a memory that won't weigh the bridge down. Our next point is not to rush your meals. In Paris, eating is more than just a necessity. It's a whole vibe. The French take time to savor their meals and often linger for hours over lunch or even dinner. You won't see many Parisians rushing down the street with a coffee or a sandwich in their hands eating at the same time. So when you're in Paris, do as the locals do and take your time, enjoy your meal, sit back, relax, and soak it all in. Then you might want to be going to a local market, right? Make sure you do not touch anything when browsing at the market. Whether you're shopping for food or antiques, or even eyeing a perfectly packaged cured meat, always ask before touching. It's considered impolite to just handle an item without permission. The sellers will appreciate your courtesy, of course. And of course, don't miss out on a Paris night. While it is obviously stunning in the morning, Paris truly comes alive at night. The way the city glows under the street lights, sparkling, it is something you really can't miss. Walking through Paris at night feels like stepping into a movie set. From glowing monuments to charming cafes, especially around the landmarks like the Eiffel Tower. That is why you have to make sure to take an evening walk under the city lights. And lastly, beware of your surroundings. Paris is a safe city, but like any major city, Paris has its share of pickpockets and scammers. When you're in the tourist areas and it's very busy, you don't want a pickpocket or a scammer to end up ruining, spoiling your trip. So if someone approaches you and acts odd or is behaving strange or is looking suspicious, keep it moving. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, just walk away. Your adventure in Paris can really be full of life and culture. But what makes it truly special is the way it invites you to slow down and enjoy every moment, whether it's your first visit or your 10th. We hope these tips help you make an unforgettable memory.
If you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more.
Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section and tell us what you like about the content so far.
And check out more of our Paris travel videos and this playlist right over here, somewhere on the screen. All right, guys. Au revoir. À bientôt. I'm telling you, my French lesson is happening while I've been here.